Welcome again to Provisionally Approved, the podcast that wins awards for its camera work. I'm Mike Gorry, and hashtag Gorry Fact. I'm not sure how many of you noticed, but my beard is a G. It's a thing. What? Alright, sitting here with me today is...
Hey, I'm Caitlin, and I just want to give props to Vicky because we're the only ones wearing green today on St. Patrick's Day, so pinch.
I got a bit of green here, though.
I don't know what that means, but
I got a bit of green here, maybe yellow.
No fun. Anyway,
yeah.
who else do we have sitting with us?
Maria.
And what are we talking about today?
My understanding is that we're talking about the future of the film industry.
Or not really the future, where is it now?
Yeah, well, where is the film industry now?
Where's it going?
Where did it go?
Well, all right. Well, I understand you guys have some research ready to.
I have some quotes.
Yeah, we've done
I've
much
done
reading.
research.
They have.
Can I just read three things I found interesting? Number one, with the film industry, executives now are picking the big projects, okay?
Yeah.
So before they even have a director or a screenplay, they have like the actors picked and they have like the marketing
Yeah,
campaigns.
that makes sense.
And there goes the story. They're not even concentrating on the like deep story anymore.
I'm not
Number
surprised by
two,
that.
Yep. The art of storytelling is lost, right? So all the good stuff is on HBO, Showtime, but this is an opinion, but I agree, because I like the deep, dark stuff, not the Avengers and the Star Wars. And number three, and we'll go into this, you guys, indie film market is oversaturated.
Yeah. Well, going back to the executive bit. I mean, executive being short for executive producer.
They create
Typically, the executive producer being the one who sort of controls where the money is. Well, at the end of the day, it's a profit-driven industry.
100%.
It needs to make a
Business.
profit, and so they're going to go with the safe bets.
But are the safe bets doing well anymore?
Some of them are, some of them
Some
aren't.
of them are, but is it more doing well or more doing not? Oh, I don't know.
Well, the nature of what a safe bet is constantly changing, I think.
Exactly.
Because you've got plenty of situations where you'll have a movie that makes it big for reasons that the executive producers and the the investors and all those people don't necessarily understand, and so they'll throw money at the next big project that looks like that one that just made it big.
Yeah.
And either that next one will flop because, well, it's been done, nobody wants to see that again, or, it'll sort of do the same thing and take it in a new direction, and sometimes that'll work and sometimes it won't. But then you've also got things like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which, is raking in billions and billions of dollars. And then sort of compare that to, well, DC is trying to sort of do the same thing, and it's not working for anybody else because Marvel's the one who they've got the monopoly on that sort of linking everything together sort of market.
Well, I also read that Guardians of the Galaxy did so well because it was so different, and there was nothing else
was
like
different.
that.
Actually,
And
I
it was
liked it.
great. Yeah.
They all have fan bases, though. That's the thing with Marvel. That's the thing with the comic books. They have a distinct fan base that they can fall back on. It's not like you come up with an original idea, then you have to promote and build the fan base. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has a fan base. The Hulk, all the comic books from Stan Lee have a fan base.
Yeah, it's a community as well. Like
Yeah.
you want to find out what is happening in that field, and it's Marvel. Like you got to cater for the mass.
Yep.
You do. For
easier.
you to make money profit-wise, especially with what's happening with the industry that we were talking about earlier, how hard it is to fund your own project, your own film.
Yeah.
That it's.
Because Vicky, you're a videographer. And you, let me just make sure I've got the facts straight here. You you're working in short films and features.
I've done short films. My goal is to work in features as well, but it's getting that funding. So that's why I'm in business. I'm an entrepreneur to be able to create residual income, so I can make films and not having to worry about how much is something going to cost me. Because I do feel like that's really limiting us to actually achieve the goals that we want, which is to make films. Hence why we're all here.
Like what are some of the? I mean, because you're sort of a lot sort of further down that track than any of the rest of us are. I'm guessing.
I've only been doing this about a year, so.
Okay.
I'm a YouTube star, but I haven't made any.
Oh, really?
Films. I mean, I've got like 100,000 followers.
Oh, really?
Really? You know, YouTube
That's
is.
a lot.
Yeah, but like I said, most of the comments are like, "Show your boobs," and
Oh,
it's not. I'm not
damn.
taken
So,
seriously.
You know, going
But
on
you
YouTube.
are taken seriously.
Am I? I don't know.
So far,
We just
you
met.
you seem to be really respected.
Hang on. So you haven't brought up the YouTube channel with us before. Like, what's the
Well, I'll tell you what. I was always interested in becoming famous, and I thought all these other people got famous on YouTube. Why can't I? So I started, and I started getting followers, and it was mostly guys and a lot of trolls, but it never went anywhere. Like, I'm still trying, but
Never give up.
But what's the channel about? Like, what are you?
So, like, it's kind of in the base of like an attention-seeking, or I don't want to say the W word.
What's the W word?
Can I say that online?
I don't know how many. What are our viewers? Are they under a certain age? But
An attention seeker?
yeah,
loves
attention
attention.
seeker sounds. I think it's appropriate.
Anyway, yeah, like I do crazy things. Like I just did one like where I go to India and I'm like, I want to get Delhi belly because I want to lose 10 pounds. And anyway,
So playing a character.
yeah, I'm playing a character, but because in this day and age, a lot of people can, without much money, get
Yeah.
a video camera and put themselves out there
Yeah.
and say, look what I can do. But it hasn't worked for me yet, but it has worked for other people. So that's what's exciting about this day and age right now, and trying to make it right, with
Yeah.
YouTube and the technology. So
Well, the thing is, I think just to point something out, it's your mindset, it's a story that you're telling yourself. So if you're telling yourself, I haven't made it yet, then focus on what that you will make it, because it's not the end. You have 100,000 followers, so it's
That's
sort
a
of
lot.
tweaking certain
Okay.
That is
things
a lot
too.
of followers.
it's 100,000 hits. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't.
I have 1,000 followers.
That is still a
still a
lot.
lot, though.
Still pretty
I
good.
I mean, it's
So-
hard to get followers on YouTube because there was a time YouTube was a platform where you wouldn't go through because it would be like embarrassing, and how can you
Yeah.
go through there? And then you got shows like the catering show. Those ladies,
What?
Exactly.
Yeah.
the catering show, those ladies are
Too many
lovely. I
shows.
got to interview them, and
Yeah.
they got through YouTube, and now they've got all these followers, and
But
they've got
they
the
had
success.
the funding. They got funded by Film Victoria. But
Yeah.
still, this is good. Like,
But
they're
it's still-
doing great.
it's-
They have millions of followers.
You know, there are people that have got funding but haven't been able to really go anywhere with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just because you get funding doesn't mean
anything.
It doesn't
yeah.
mean anything. You got to actually have the great crew. You got to have the great team. And the internet, generally speaking, is becoming a platform where not only films you can watch on the internet, but you can also watch TV shows like the live streaming, and it's all becoming so popular that it's like,
Which is exciting. It's
It's
exciting
exciting.
for us. I think
Exciting.
that's where the
Yeah.
future is really going, is
yeah.
to make things, I
But-
guess,
Which
more
is interesting
mainstream.
'cause I got
is
some quotes here.
Hollywood dying now because of this new media platform.
Now that you've mentioned that, I actually looked up and I have some conversations between filmmakers and what some filmmakers have said. Now, I guess it's not factual because it's all their opinions on
Yeah.
how they feel and where they feel the industry is going. Like one of them, which did interest me, is between George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, which George Lucas said, and this is what George Lucas was saying to Steven. You're going to end up with fewer theatres, bigger theatres with a lot of nice things. Going to the movies will cost $50, $150, $100. Like Broadway costs today, or a football game. It'll be an expensive thing. The movies will sit in theatres for a year, like Broadway shows do, and they'll be called movie business. Then he goes on to say there'll be big movies on a big screen, and it'll cost them a lot of money. Everything else will be on a small screen. It's almost that way now. Lincoln and Red Tail's barely got into theatres. You're talking about Steven Spielberg and George Lucas can't get their movies in theatres, and this is what Spielberg actually had to say. He said, I believe we need to get rid of the
Procrastinators?
Yeah. Spielberg said, wrong words. We're never going to be totally immersive as long as we're looking at a square, whether it's a movie screen or it's a computer screen. We've got to get rid of that, and we've got to put the players inside the experience. No matter where you look, you're surrounded by three-dimensional experience. That's the future, like 3D film. which is
Well,
slowly
that's
becoming
way too expensive.
The virtual glass. Have you guys
Yeah,
tried that? Oh my god,
we
that
do
blew
have
me away.
we do have
virtual
virtual reality
ones.
games already with things like there's the Oculus Rift, which has been in development for the last I don't know how many years, but
Okay.
which is just like it's a sort of headset sort of VR sort of platform. I don't know how far away it is from being like consumer ready.
Yeah.
But like they've been showing it at like expos for however many years and just sort of had people doing play tests. So movies can't be that far away from
virtual, like
No, they're
putting
not.
people. You know what? They put Paul Walker, R.I.P. virtually in his films as well, and you can do that now. So you can do that.
Yeah.
But here's the
Technology
problem.
is-
How that's going to be like a one-seater thing. How much is that going to cost? Like you said, so
Yeah, that's-
expensive. People aren't going to the movies now because it's like $20 a ticket when they don't even know
More
if
than that.
it's going to be that good or
Good or
that
not.
worth it, where they
We'll
could
download
get
it.
it on Netflix. And now they're saying, oh, how are we going to save the cinemas? And they're trying to do all these new ideas. Let's put it on a beach. Let's put beds. Let's
know,
do the other things.
well, hey,
Look,
well,
who's
why
got
not?
the money
No, but
for
you know
that?
what's coming back though.
Well, cinema has a very distinct role now in the sense that like people don't necessarily go there, or people do still go there to watch movies, but it's sort of taken on that role of like it's an afternoon out.
Yeah.
Like as in it's sort of something you do like that you'll do socially, or that you'll do to sort of I don't know, get out of the house, I suppose.
Yeah, but-
ironically.
Not
How
as
many
much now,
times?
though.
Not as much these days. Say in the 1930s, even when no one had money, everyone went to the movies. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
took them away from that hard times. Once a week, maybe even once,
Yeah, but
twice a week.
technology. The thing is, and I see it as a great challenge. Technology is emerging. So, for example, it's like Uber. Uber has changed the whole world. So you're either going to complain about it or do something about it. We have to adapt to the changes. So it is a bit rocky at the moment, but I think at the same time, it's a great opportunity for us to really rise up and take charge of this and do something different and unique. So instead of complain about it, find something and just. I can't swear, can I? But just do the best that you can. So it's
Well, actually, you reminded me of something. When you said that, because technology is evolving and changing, you can now buy 3D glasses to have as your own. It reminded me of when there was a time, and this is a long time ago, but I'm doing an assignment on this, where there were silent films. Now, silent films are where there's no talking at all. There's just music and words. You're using your body the way it's like you're using your body and the way your body movement. And when talking films came in, people didn't want talking films.
No.
It's kind of like you have to accept the change or be left behind. And
Yeah.
it reminds me of this, where this new technology is coming in, 3D is coming in. Like James Cameron did Avatar in 3D. Soon we'll probably be able to watch 3D on our TVs because they're
100%.
working on that. And they sell like 3D glasses you can buy.
Yeah.
So you either got to accept that this new technology is coming in and work with it, which some filmmakers are, or you just got to be left behind and
suffer.
yeah, exactly. So either change or be left behind.
Well,
See-
what? Go on.
Oh yeah. I was just about to say I know I'm wondering sort of like how much it's changed like the extent to which cinema is sort of an event.
yeah.
In terms of the fact that like okay like the next however many Marvel movies coming out, it's like that's sort of this big like that's the way some of my friends measure their years. In terms of like, which Marvel movies are coming out this year, and they'll, just sort of see all sort of the one,
Yep.
like they'll see half of those maybe, but they'll sort of like that will be their cinema experience, and like the rest of their content they'll like download or sort of stream or whatever.
Everything's online.
Everything's online. I think again with going back to technology, like Netflix is what's changed everything as well.
Yes.
So an interesting thing is with Marvel, with Deadpool. Have you guys seen Deadpool?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome movie, right? So Deadpool didn't spend any money on advertising on television.
No.
Right? They spent about $10 million through social media.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I saw it on Facebook,
Yeah,
and it made me want to
because-
go
yeah.
out there and watch it in the movie. So it's again,
Yeah.
it's they're adapting to those changes that people are not watching TV as much as watching Netflix.
Yeah.
So why would you spend money on that when you can just?
It's not just
Well,
watching
especially-
TV. It's all online. It's on YouTube.
Everything.
It's on
Here's the thing.
Facebook. It's on everything. You need to go to the advertising. Like if you're not doing the internet or YouTube, then you know.
Well, especially
Losing
when the
money.
target
Yeah.
market for a lot of these movies is teenagers.
yeah.
You know, who are, you know,
28.
some of the fastest
28?
people to
I
adapt.
thought you were like 20.
I know. I'll tell you my
Not
secret
bad.
later.
Anyway,
It's the olive complexion. They don't age as fast.
Must be.
online though, online is the way to go. And most people, not just teenagers, as Mike said, the big, you know, who's gonna go watch a superhero film? It's not gonna
Not
be.
me.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the teenagers
Well,
and the people,
teenagers
yeah.
and like mainly sort of under 30s, I
Yeah,
suppose. But
that's
like
what I
the
mean, like, yeah.
teenagers, like I get the impression they sort of go to movies a lot more frequently.
They do because
The nerds do.
Because they're underage and they can't go
Well, I went
unless
to
you have
the
a fake ID
movies-
like what I did.
I went to the movies recently, and there were a
On
lot
Monday.
of like I went to see Goosebumps, and there were a lot of kids, like teenagers there, and even family. Some families were teenagers basically, and that's the main market.
Because
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
you did as a teenager.
I
You
know.
went to
Yeah.
the movies, you hooked up in the back. Yeah, we
Yeah.
go on
Dates,
weekend.
yeah.
Now
You
that
go with
when
your
Nobody
mates.
else will watch it. You're like,
Yeah,
You
I
go
did
with
the
your
same
mates and
movie
stuff.
like 6 times because that's what you were allowed to do.
Yeah.
That's what
And they were
it's
cheap,
all
cheap
about.
cheese. It was like $8 movies.
No,
They
but
were
you-
awesome. And the thing, sorry to interrupt quickly, but the thing is, it's I know it's costing a lot of money for people, needing a lot of money for them to fund their own projects. But the thing is, our wages are still the freaking same. So how are we meant
Yeah.
to come up with all these fundings? I think that's what's making people is struggling. And also the whole thing of going to a movie, it's expensive. Gold class is what, over $40.
Yeah.
I want to go there and watch it. Usually I get free gold
I was
class
going to say the
tickets.
same thing.
Yeah.
It's also the only reason, and then
Yeah.
it's like I don't really feel like eating. You know, you
Oh,
avoid that.
gosh.
So it's
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing because the movies have gotten expensive, but now, stepping away from how expensive they are, you have television, the TV trying to get in, because obviously there's Netflix and all these streaming sites,
Yeah.
and if you don't try and get your show, if you've got one on the internet, you're probably being silly. But there is also, like, the TV stations have this one channel where you can watch movies with Flicks on, and they're trying to get in so you can watch it at home. And there's that. It's like when I watched one of these videos where this guy was talking about the future of film, and he actually is in the film industry, and said when TV was coming in, the film, the film production companies didn't want TV, but then it's a way families can sit down and watch something. So you don't have to spend a lot of money now, because going to the cinemas, as Caitlin and Vicky said, is expensive now. I remember
Yeah.
when it wasn't.
and
so
time
yeah.
consuming too.
It
People
is.
don't have time. I'm
Yeah.
busy. I'm busy.
Yeah.
By the
Studying,
time I get
working,
home and
yeah.
eat and
Yeah.
shower and all that stuff, we can't go out. And then it's like weekends. By weekends, there's too many people there. I want to avoid it.
Yeah.
So let's just watch it. My mum doesn't like going to movies because she'd rather watch it at home in her own time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's,
Unless
and that's
it's
fair enough.
something
Like-
you really can't wait
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I go now. So my Big Fat Greek Wedding too.
I want to go watch it with my family.
I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for that. We should all go together.
I'm Greek, so hey.
Yeah,
so
yeah. What's a
We
movie?
should-
How
yeah.
often do you go to the movies, Mike?
I don't know, maybe a few times a year.
Wow, that's
like,
a- less than
See,
me.
there you go.
yeah.
It's
you?
gotten so much.
Yeah, a few times, a few months.
I used to go
I
at
make it
least
more
once a
frequently
month.
because I love it. I love going to movies.
And you, Maria?
I'm the same. Like, I just went to watch Goosebumps, and I know I want to see another movie, but not. Yeah, I liked it because I grew up with the
Me
books.
too, I grew
Yeah,
up-
but I don't. Yeah, I don't go. I don't go.
The
As,
fan base, right? Fan
well, I
base.
don't go
You're
as
stuck.
frequently. Love to talk about Goosebumps, but I don't
Later.
go as frequently because, it is expensive. You go on Cheap Tuesdays and you go to a place and you get a ticket with a burger. I mean,
Grill does that.
yeah, you don't
promotion
go
for
as,
you guys.
you don't go frequently because of how. I remember when it wasn't expensive. When I used to go as a kid with my family, and it was not a rarity. It wasn't like a nice event, but now it's become like a rarity to go.
Yeah.
And when you go with your friends, you may not be able to agree on the movie at the time. So
Yeah, well, I think that's probably almost like a good argument for things like the gold class
Yeah.
to exist, because it's like, well, if you're only going a couple of times a year, like that's an opportunity to splurge. Like let's
true.
make a big event of this. And like personally for me, like I don't actually remember the last time I went to the cinema that wasn't for one of the big Marvel events.
It's just taking over, you know.
Yeah, it has sort of taken over a little
And
bit, like the superhero movie genre.
That's a moneymaker for the production companies, because I
Yeah.
find if we're talking about international movies and to take it still on the same topic, you know, there was a time where LA was the pinnacle of where you made movies.
Oh, not
Yeah.
anymore.
Not anymore. That's the
Canada,
thing.
UK, Louisiana.
Not just other countries.
China. These
Yeah.
are all
Australia?
Yeah,
for
What about Australia?
LA.
Not just-
China's a
not yet,
big
not-
Huge
consumer
right
market.
now.
But speaking on an international level and keeping Australia out of this for the moment, there is, because you know Caitlin's American, so she'd know the adjacent states. Like there's Louisiana, you can, I don't know, Detroit, Philadelphia. You can make. They're all getting in on making these films and saying, why should I go to LA? Then you've got London, and of course China have got their own market. Then you've got Bollywood, and they've got their own little markets of making films. So LA is no longer this power player in filmmaking.
Well, one of the main reasons they're not filming as much in LA anymore is the tax incentives. I don't really get into
Creates more
that.
jobs.
But this is, exactly, which is very good. And the interesting thing about China, right? I got all this information,
China's
guys.
got
In
their
Chinese?
own.
China market for all films overtook the U.S. for the first time in 2015.
Interesting.
Media companies now making business arrangement and partnerships to maximize their financing and market impact. One more thing. Number of studios have co-produced with Chinese companies, casting more well-known Chinese actresses in American films.
Well, you know what? There is a market for this.
Yeah, well,
There is.
I remember Iron Man 3. There was like this entire little side story that they made specifically for the Chinese release of the movie,
Yes.
so that they could market it
Wow.
to China and make.
They
I
go
don't
and
know how
market
much
them
more
to
money
China,
out of it,
though.
but like a ton.
That's where they market them, though. They
Yeah.
have major premieres in China. You can see like what Tom Cruise
When he does his
when he
commercials
does
there
his,
for,
you
like,
know,
millions,
China's
yeah.
like this big film market, and
Yeah.
they're getting in on it.
It's a huge
Yeah.
population, so again, you have to cater for the mass. And they are the
Exactly.
mass, and they have a
Yeah.
lot of money as well. Like I work in a property place as well, and all our clientele is Chinese because we
Why
sell
wouldn't you
luxury
get on it?
homes.
Oh, of
Why wouldn't
course.
you get in on it if
Exactly.
you can make the money there?
And all the Chinese in
They're very smart,
Australia,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like they have a lot of. Is that? Oh,
Well, I mean, there are
They're
a lot
very
of.
smart people.
Oh,
It's not just
absolutely,
it's
yeah.
not
what
just
they're
doing,
It's not just
so-
the Chinese market though. There's the German market. There's like London. There's Bollywood. It's not just one
Yeah.
specific market in
No, it's not.
filmmaking.
We-
But they're all just expanding and being able to see
Which
that
is
they can
really
make something.
exciting.
Yeah,
It's very exciting. Everything's
it's-
changing.
We're globalizing a lot more. Like
Yeah.
the fact that those markets are actually interacting a lot more now.
Yeah.
I think is a
More jobs.
It's bringing more
Hugely
people
good thing.
together. I know
Yeah.
that, especially we've reading a lot of information for tonight too. It's very easy to find a really great crew because everyone is on the same wavelength. Everybody wants to be there and connect and network and make something incredible. So that's why you have to be open. And I love how Australia's very multicultural, but I
Yeah.
feel like the whole world, as you said, is coming together.
Well, there's more
Yeah.
jobs and there's more
Yeah.
opportunities. You can go to Dubai to make
that's great.
film and TV. You can go to London. You can go to Asia. It's not like in the past where it's like LA
go
was
to
a place to go.
Hollywood,
You know, and you can go, and even New York, where I always knew New York to be like this model where all the models go to build their careers, but now it's also, you can also make a TV show or film there. So
Yeah.
it's expanding, as Mike said, it's going global, and that opens up more jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the impression that we're still sort of very much based on sort of localized hubs at the
Yeah.
moment. I mean, because like with I don't know to what extent Melbourne is still sort of the cultural hub of Australia, for example. Well, Sydney's pretty big as well, obviously, but it's like we're sort of the artsy ones, and
Yeah.
they're sort of the
But everyone's opening up though and doing their own thing now.
yeah. But you've got LA and New York sort of still sort of the big. They're still sort of the big guns.
They're
It's
the
just
main-
that like there's a lot more sort of the lower level stuff for the rest of the US.
There's Canada as well, I think. I don't know.
So
yeah.
much is filmed in Canada. I'm a huge fan of Lifetime movies. Do you guys?
What's
Okay, it's
Lifetime?
made for TV movies, but really cheesy, like
Example?
oh, I'm sleeping with my stepdad kind
You
of
know
movie.
what's interesting
They're
to
all
me?
filmed in Canada because it's cheap.
Do you know what's interesting to me? Not only is it you
Sleeping with
can
my
film something and sell it internationally, but we're still on the film kind of thing. the film, you know how mainly film actors are now seeing that they're going on to make like TV shows, and now you can, like I've seen a couple of TV shows where I felt there could easily be a movie.
Yeah.
So they're
100%.
really getting to that level.
Well, and that's where they are going. Yeah.
Well, who here has Netflix?
You know what?
No.
I understand.
I'll
I'm an
admit,
ex-Netflix.
I kind of got into it later because everyone was all up about Netflix. I'm like, okay, I'll see what it is. And now that I've seen it,
It's addictive.
It is, and you know what?
Having
You
2
can
months free.
You can bring your laptop and watch a film that you know maybe recently came out.
And the great thing about Netflix is the content Netflix is making is doing amazing.
It is.
Orange is the New Black. Anyway,
my point, I just want to say quickly, what you were saying, why actors are going to TV shows, is because Netflix has changed everything. You can watch a whole show in 3 days, a whole season, in 3 days.
Yeah.
That's why it got so addictive, and it's as you said, like every episode, it's like watching a film. The quality is incredible.
Well, the way they structure TV shows has changed dramatically because of that. A couple of decades ago, you know, you'd be turning on the TV, like you'd basically be catering to channel surfers who like might not have ever seen the show before.
Yeah.
So, you know, everything sort of has to be self-contained within the episode, and even like between segment breaks, you know, you'll sort of have that like sort of quick recap of like, okay, in 5 seconds, what's been going on like this episode?
Yeah.
Okay, the audience is with us now. Now we can move on. But yeah, and of course now, you know, we don't have to structure our content around, you know, the advertising cycle. You know, it's more sort of based on like, okay, how fast can we pump this out? How fast can we watch it? And it's sort of there's a lot to watch.
The problem is though, you guys, that Netflix may be upping their prices now because they're putting so much money into these big production TV shows. So it might not only be $14 a month now, and this is a fact. You can look it up.
I'll have to pay more than $14
exactly,
a
but
month
I'll pay it
for all that content.
See, you just answered your own question. It's like you'll pay for it. It's
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
you know,
True.
That's the future of film, though. That's where film is going.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, you know, not only is it going to the 3D and the whole, what is it, visual, I forgot what it's called. Virtual reality, but it's also going to TV. You got major film producers who are producing television series for TV. I mean, I don't know where will cinema be in a couple of years' time. It's good to get.
It's exciting. Where do you think it'll be?
Stay tuned. 10 years time.
Well, it's interesting because both production and distribution are in some ways a lot more accessible than they were. In other ways, like, you know, like even sort of the bigger productions are sort of almost getting smaller from my very limited experience of them. Like, you know, for example, you've got, you know, like here, the local TV stations, they're significantly reducing the amount of people they'll have in studio at any given time. Like it'll be, you know, it used to be like a whole studio of like 50 people all sort of working at once. Now it's like 3 people in a control room and, you know, a whole lot of automated technology.
But that's happening in every industry. It's not just whatever's happening now, all the same problems that are arising. It's happening in every single industry.
But it's a lot. But it's also a lot easier for us to make our own stuff.
Yep.
I mean, case in point. I mean, you know, this
Camera.
here. You know, it's easy for us to do this now.
Yeah.
And sort of the result of that is that it's going to be sort of an arms race in terms of content, I think. Like in terms of the quality of, like, not necessarily production values, but in terms of, like, you know, sort of storytelling values and, like, you know, sort of the humor value and all that sort of stuff. Like where, you know, because either the person with the best marketing or the person with the best content is going to rise to the top.
Film and TV, they were made very similar in the way it's, you know, the way they're made now. That's what I think. But can I just mention one thing that's coming back that was probably way back in the old times is drive-thrus. I know a lot of people who knows someone who's been to a drive-thru.
Talk about life, what you've learned.
That's coming back. Virginity.
You can watch a film at a drive-thru. So let's say from going to the cinema to going to the drive-thru, I mean, cinema's not exactly dying out. People are just finding other ways.
Other
Yeah.
ways. Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
What
right.
is the drive-through? It's in like Coburg, and it's much cheaper. Am I right?
Yeah,
The Coburg
Yeah.
it's
one.
becoming more
Dan,
popular
come
now.
to my hood, Dan dinner. It's much better.
Yeah.
You can't apparently.
Well, there's also the hot tub cinema that's popping up in
Wait.
May-ish.
I saw that. Where is that at?
I
They're
don't know where that
evolving and
is,
changing.
but
What?
it sounds amazing, and I am so excited.
Beanbag.
I'm really
Wait,
excited
Wait,
about
is this
that.
like, do you go back in time or is this? Okay,
Hot
something
tub
like
time
that.
machine?
I haven't even seen that, but I just.
It would be the perfect way to watch Hot Tub
You go back,
Time
it's like
Machine.
Do you
Awesome.
notice one thing though? Do you notice one thing about the hot tub cinema as well as the beanbag cinema? Do you notice what cinemas are trying to do to bring people in?
Yeah,
because they know they need to do this.
But
Well,
how
well, they're
much
getting
will
creative.
You have to
Exactly.
get
Thing
creative.
cost? How much do you think it would cost?
Oh,
to-
I don't know. I'm guessing like
bucks?
20, 30 bucks.
That's all right.
Oh, we're just making it up.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm yeah.
And
depends when
alcohol.
they come out.
I
You just
hope.
stick it in your bag and
I
nobody
hope-
knows. You say
But
it's,
do you
it's,
see what
water.
they've done in recent years? How you could just go to the cinema, sit in a seat, but now they've realised if they want to keep up with the changing times, the changing cinema, with people wanting to come and go to the movies because of how expensive it's gotten, they have to give them incentive. I'm going to
Yeah.
go for
An
a hot tub.
experience.
I can't
People
Yeah,
want
believe
an
yeah,
experience.
and that's
Yeah.
exactly sort of what I was sort of trying to articulate before with the whole like it's an event, it's an outing.
Yeah, it is.
And they're getting creative with making different experiences for that, and I think that's fantastic.
We need that. We're a species that gets bored very easily because we're all freaking lazy.
And I have ADD.
So when you have something exciting and people need that excitement because people want to post it on Facebook. Oh my God, I went to a hot tub experience.
Yeah,
Or-
exactly.
And I heard something about smell of vision.
I read about
yeah.
that too, but
is
now they
that?
said
I
that's
haven't-
going to be too expensive and way too hard to do. But it was an idea to keep up, with the
Yeah,
art.
but
pretty
you know, they
cool.
said
Not
that about
happening.
3D,
on,
didn't
you
they?
never know.
Haven't they
A few
said
more
that about
years.
all the new technology coming in? And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, let's be honest, individually, where do any of you think film is going? Like, where do you think it's going?
That's the thing, I don't know.
Yeah,
But knowing the new
it's
technology-
the thing is that it's diversifying.
Yeah,
It's not going in any one
not one
direction.
direction.
There's 50 different things happening now where before there was like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've got so many different outlets and so many different mediums that are all film. For example, say we've got Netflix, we've still got TV, we've got YouTube, we've got the cinema, we've got Blu-rays and DVDs, and we've got we've got really weird stuff now. Like for example, like the company that I work for, what we do, we put together basically, we'll just get teachers sort of presenting content from the last 2 years of high school, 2 high school students, and we'll just sort of like string that together like in a bunch of
Wow.
different videos, and that's that I suppose that technically counts as part of the media industry, even though it's sort of more on the education side. But that's sort of a new education model that's all based around this sort of cheap filmmaking. We've got so many more possibilities than we had before, and
That's a good thing, though.
and we've got stuff that we can just if you look at someone like the Friendly Geordies.
What's that?
He's a YouTuber who does like a whole lot of political commentary. I think he's from Queensland, or possibly Sydney. I'm not sure, but
No.
Yeah, do you know him?
No,
I'm not big on you. I don't.
basically
a lot of
he
YouTube
basically
shows.
does a whole lot of sort of sketch based sort of but like sort of really cutting sort of political commentary sort of about Australian politics.
Okay.
And all that is basically like he's just sort of made a series of semi-comical video essays, and that's a massive YouTube hit because it sort of hits something that we want to see and that we want to hear about.
So is it educational with humour? What is it?
Less educational, more like commentary.
Okay.
Like as in, he'll he's got his finger on the news cycle and sort of like whatever the current thing is in Australian politics, he'll be commenting on that. And he's pumping out videos like every couple of weeks where he's just like
Interesting.
playing all these characters in front of the camera, and it's
So how do you think though, with all these filmmakers now, you got like Steven Spielberg, Jerry Bruckheimer, lots of other filmmakers, and now with this new technology, who do you think will evolve with it? Who will stay?
Probably
stay
the younger.
involved? Like, well, the younger
propaganda
generation versus the older.
Yeah, well,
Who's coming in now?
well, I think it's kind of a like I think they'll both evolve in different ways, honestly, because we've got
Like the silent film actors versus the talking.
no, I mean, because the film industry, I suppose, you know, the big execs and all them, like they don't necessarily have like they have a lot more resources to throw at experiments and, you know, doing the weird stuff. It's just that, like, if you then, you know, sort of look at the rest of the population as a whole, well, between us, we've got a lot more resources to sort of like throw at that, because we've got, you know, like entire people's like spare time. So yeah, like sort of that thing of like, okay, you know, you've got sort of the consolidated money to throw at things, or you've got like the distributed distributed consciousness almost. Like I feel like that's the wrong term. I'm sort of getting mixed up with my words.
I feel like it's anyone's game now.
The ultimate winner, though, is
Anyone's
the
game.
consumers.
Sorry?
Yeah.
The ultimate winners are the consumers, because honestly, who's going to test out this technology? Who's going to go to the hot tub and stuff? And it's all changing because the consumers want something new.
We want something new, 100%. That's what they were saying, as you read before. Is it going to be $50, $100, $150, and they want to do, they want to
I've got some
check
other
it out.
quotes actually.
Let's hear
And
some
people are willing to pay for that as well. If you're going to get the ultimate experience and you have great reviews for it, of course you're going to do it.
I've got a quote from Keanu Reeves from The Guardian.
Whatever happened to him?
He's still making
Is he
films,
legit
but
now?
yeah, he's still making films.
Hey.
But what he said was the rise of
Sounds like
digital
Matrix.
technology. The rise of digital technology has prompted a lot of debate about the death of film. If you'd asked me 6 months ago if I were at that point, I'd have said the situation was dire. Fuji announced it was not going to produce commercial stock anymore. Companies such as Panavision and Ari have stopped making new film cameras, but it's unlikely that film will completely vanish, at least in the near future. I wouldn't call it a backlash against digital, but there is a significant body of directors still using film for image acquisitions. It's important that they have the tools to make film in the way they want to. I'm certainly much less worried about the fate of celluloid than I was when I started making a documentary side by side.
That's deep.
Yeah, he's gone deep with it.
And so basically he's saying that like they're stopping sort of making the high-end cameras.
Well, these are opinions of actors and filmmakers.
Yeah.
This is the thing we were talking about before. As you asked earlier, Mike, do filmmakers, even actors, are they the right people to give? Maybe I'm not wording it properly. Opinions on this?
I suppose the question to ask there is, like, are filmmakers and actors, like, from sort of the high-end film industry, are they actually the experts? Well, obviously, like, you know, they'd be a lot more aware of suddenly there's no more high-end film cameras. What's up with that? Oh, it's because of that stuff happening down there. But in terms of the actual future of things, like you guys were saying before, it really is anyone's game.
It's a speculation.
It's just that everybody has different sets of resources.
Yeah. And you have to tap into the right resources. It's like, you know, when it comes to technology, people say, you know, every 6 months, every generation, things change. Like I speak to a lot of people in social media, in IT, and they have to keep on reading every single day for them to see what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're going to miss out. So I think when I said it's anyone's game, it's going to be the people that actually are utilising, they have the fingers in every department. Because if you take your finger out of one thing, you screwed it up. Does that make sense?
Okay. Does this sort of come back around to your videography work a little bit, in the sense that like because you're you've been doing short films and stuff. You didn't say necessarily like what your specific role within that was. Like, is that
camera operator?
Yeah. Okay.
Camera operator. So that's usually my role. Again, with that, it's technology is always emerging. You have to understand who's your target audience, everything like that. So if you are promoting on Facebook, like what Deadpool did, they know exactly who the target audience is. Like, there's things that you can do right now they could never do back in the day. So you can capitalize and make more money, but you can't put all your eggs in one basket as well. So you have to, you know, be very smart about it and just speak to the right people too. Like, if you're my target audience, I need to find out exactly what you look for in the film. Like, you know, attention span is decreasing, and that's why when you do YouTube clips now, it has to be like what, a minute and
2
30,
minutes.
less
Yeah.
than 2 minutes.
You lose
Exactly.
after 2 minutes.
You lose people, so you have to grasp people straight away. It's like when you, for me, it's like when you read a book. If the first few pages are boring, I don't freaking read it.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I think Amazon's even sort of going into this this new business model where they'll pay authors by like the pages that are read rather than the books that are sold, which is
Interesting.
not necessarily, which may or may not be.
Everything's related. I feel like everything is
Everything's
related.
changing.
With everything
Yeah.
that's happening now, it's all
So
related.
there's more
And
streaming
it's a
sites too.
vibe.
I didn't know, because I just gone onto the whole streaming. Like, I'm a bit late to the party. I am.
It's okay, grandma, it's okay.
I'm a grandma. I didn't know. Like, there's probably a lot more streaming sites that are going to come onto, streaming film. I didn't know there was. I'm still new to the whole streaming thing, but it interests me to know that most people that I've talked to literally say they don't watch TV at all, or they just watch all their favorite movies and TV shows straight online.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah. So
I
you
gotta
can get an
admit
opinion.
though, last Tuesday, the 7-Year Itch, I never watched TV. Have you guys watched the 7-Year Itch? Channel 7
I don't watch
produced
TV.
it.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a good reality show. Like once in a while, something will be worth watching.
What's that
7-Year Itch.
about?
They
7
take
year-
couples. No, 7-Year Switch. They take couples that are having problems and switch them and make them live with another couple.
Oh man.
You know why? Because crash and burn. That's what sells.
Yeah.
People like that.
Interesting.
Well,
People love what other people are doing. Sorry to interrupt you. They just care what other people's problems are. It's like, why don't you just look in the mirror and figure out what your problems are?
but also like it's a sort of more the type of person who's into that sort of thing,
Yeah.
who is more likely to watch TV in order to get that sort of thing. So of course there's sort of this feedback loop happening where there's more of this stuff happening on TV because it's what people will watch on TV, whereas we'll watch our other stuff through other means more
but
so nowadays.
Soon
I
you'll
think.
be able to watch everything through online though. I mean, TV
Yeah.
will still be there, but TV I think is I don't know, but TV's still trying to catch up with online or trying to show that they still got it. I'm a bit on the fence about this.
Well, what do you guys think is going to happen to cinemas? Do you think in 10 years they'll still be around?
3D
Oh, in 10
films,
years, definitely.
yeah, because
Yeah.
3D
Let's be
films are
around.
coming
What about
out.
when
though.
we have grandchildren? Are we going to be like, well, we used to go to the movie theater,
No, I don't.
popcorn, and hook up in the back seat?
You know what?
Is that with grandpa?
You know what though? If cinemas are really going anywhere, they wouldn't be rolling out the 3D. You wouldn't have vending machines to buy you buy if you wear glasses like me, it's hard to wear the 3D
Yeah,
glasses, but
no.
you wouldn't. They're rolling it out and they wouldn't actually promote these kind of 3D films and filmmakers like James Cameron who made Avatar in 3D and wouldn't have IMAX and stuff if cinema wasn't going anywhere. And before I finish, I actually read something interesting that I read a filmmaker say that when he started in the film industry, they were saying film is dying, and now he's been doing
Yeah,
it
of
for
course they're saying
years. So generally speaking, everyone's been saying film is dying.
It's like real
I don't
estate is
think-
done.
yeah.
Real estate is going to crash. Oh, come on, man. Real estate.
evolving.
It's not dying.
It's fear. I feel like they're putting so much fear onto us for us to actually stop actually fulfilling the things that we truly love. And it's happening in every industry. It's like when I studied film, many years ago, they were telling me you can't find a job. And you know what that made me do? It made me be stuck in working in retail. And I did that for 10 years because I thought, well
why they
all
have a
these
course,
teachers
though?
are telling me,
Why do you?
My
promote-
teachers are
know, you
too. You
just
want to
don't-
work
Yeah.
in the film industry?
Good luck.
Sorry.
See, this is a thing.
Sorry, you didn't make it, professors. I'm not going to say
This
any
is why
names.
film isn't evolving.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
So they're putting this fear onto us, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why. I mean, I work for a television show, but you do it like once a week, and you don't really get paid for it. And you're like, well, maybe they're right. So I feel like there's this wave going around, and that's why people that are talented, people that have huge goals, are not actually achieving those because of that reason. So. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it, it's not necessarily that film is dying. It's just that the industry is changing dramatically, and it's changing very rapidly. So,
Yeah.
the old version of what film used to mean, people, I suppose, people in the industry, well, in or out of the industry, I suppose, who sort of wanted, say, a really specific job that sort of had to do with the old way it worked. okay, yeah, sure, it looks like it's dying, but that's because, like suddenly there's new ways of doing all those jobs that are sometimes a bit more streamlined, a bit simpler.
Yeah.
And now what we've got is a whole lot of new jobs that are
They're opening up.
that are
With
sort of
the
opening up because of
expanding,
that.
as you said, the global.
But
And it's
robots,
not necessarily
robots.
Taking over.
The robots
One day robots are gonna do all those shows.
but
They're
no-
gonna even be the actors.
But not now though, because
Like
you don't
be
have
Brad
robots.
Pitt.
You don't have robots now. You have them made into films and characters. But as Mike was saying, like, I think it's evolving. And
Yeah, and I mean it's not necessarily being reflected in the economy of the not the financial economy, the other one, the jobs market.
Employment?
Yeah, the employment economy.
Same
There's a specific way to word that, and I've lost my words. Just gonna.
Then
This happens a lot.
it's alright.
But like. And I think that's partly because there's sort of been this trickle down effect in who the technology is accessible to, and so like people are able to make this stuff in their spare time. So we make it for free until we sort of get YouTube money or whatever else.
Whatever it is, yeah.
And well, basically we have to change our distribution models as well because people aren't going to pay for YouTube content, but they're going to be advertised to. So anyway, I've kind of that ended up sort of being a really meandering train of thought. I'm sorry.
That's what we do here. We kind of just go off.
That's
But
it.
I think people are just, because it's getting harder, or that fear, they're just
Yeah.
giving up, and
100%.
now this industry, it's like a revolving door of using the same people over and over.
Yeah.
Because they may have fame, so they can bring the fan base, and it's not allowing new people to come in. But now people are doing that though.
Yeah, well, yeah, people are sort of forcing their way in through
They're
sort of all
like,
the new
exactly.
openings.
If you won't
yeah.
do it, I'll do it myself, and it's changing the industry. And with new people, I've been doing this for a year, and now like there's all this new technology I know that's coming out that you wouldn't have back in the day.
I'm still behind now.
Same.
Anyway, so we're that's actually we're going to have to stop you there because
There's
we're
so
running
much
out of
to
time.
talk about.
Running out of time.
There is so much more to talk about,
Oh, okay.
which is
Look for this,
why
alright.
we're doing a directly related topic next week.
Oh, okay,
Which
which
I
New media.
which is
Aussie
yeah, sort of
industry.
which is sort of new media and
The Australian film industry.
Yeah, and
think
the
that-
Australian film
yeah.
industry.
That's
so-
a
next
big,
week.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a big
that
film
is-
industry.
So what did we learn today, guys? Film industry is not dead. It's just changing.
It's
Just
evolving.
for the good.
So you got to adapt to the changes.
All right, cool. This has been provisionally approved. I've been Mike
By
Gorry.
me, by
I've
you,
been
by you.
Caitlin.
Oh, by Vicky. Where am I? Oh, there we go.
I'm Maria.
And see you next week for new media and the Australian film industry.
Because if you're not there,
If you're not there, you'll be square.
you'd be squared.
Which
or
is,
pixel.
that saying just
I don't
comes from the old slang for being nerdy, which is kind of,
Be there or be square.
nerds are cool now.
Yeah, it is. Nerds
No,
are
no, no.
so in.